Hey everyone, this is Sly Fox Eternal. We'll be reviewing my first game, Sly Fox, the Thievius Raccoon, developed by Sucker Punch. Well, since I've gone through it, we're going to do a couple of things on this. For my first review, I would explain we're going to do the story, and we're going to do a couple of gameplay, and then my overall thought of it, and then then we'll give it a rating, and since this is really only off of one console, I would tell you which one to prefer. But since right now it's only on the PS3, it's gonna be on it's going to be the obvious PS3 version will be the better one. So let's get on with the review. Story. The story will be about Sly Cooper and him getting back his The story is about Sly Cooper, who is getting aided by two of his best friends, Bentley and Murray, and they have to do one job to break into the headquarters in Paris to get a file on the Fiendish Fives. And the Fiendish Five is a deadly criminal organized crime syndicate or organization, whatever you want to call them. And he has to escape from his, I would say, love interest, Carmelita Fox. Pretty much they are. I know I'm not gonna say in quotations, but they are. I know I'm kind of butchering a review on that, but they are. And as she tries to capture him, she has multiple occasions. And he is the latest of the Cooper clan, which is a master of family thieves who only steal from other criminals, not from civilians or people, only from other criminals. And he has to get the story. Sly Cooper is aided by his two friends, Bentley and Murray, who have to break into the headquarters in Paris by the officers Carmelita Fox, who is attempting to capture them, but he gets the file from her about the Fiendish Five, who has stolen his Thievius Raccoonus book that was passed by his family, the Sly Cooper clan. He is the latest member of his clan, but his father and mother, who was, well, supposedly we haven't mentioned about his mother, but we don't know. The game has never mentioned her. But his father was killed by the Fiendish Five, who stole the book from him and ripped each page's bought from the Thievius Raccoonus, and he has to get it back. He goes to each member of the Thievius Raccoonus, where he travels to the Wanza Triangle Wires by Sir, I'm going to butcher this name, Ragel the Frog, next to Marcity, Utah, where Mugshot, a bulldog, and next to Haitian Jungle, converted into a swamp by Miss Ruby, an alligator voodoo princess. Why take the princess name? Take Queen! Come on, you're Queen! You're not a princess. Just take the name. Take the Queen name. I know I'm kind of taking it, but come on. Next to the Kunlun Mountains of China, where Panda King is using his fireworks to bury villages in the snow by his extreme rockets. Sly eventually takes them all down, but he nearly escapes by Carmelita, and each time he travels to each of these villains, and he meets the leader, Clocklock, where he goes to Russia. and he goes and he captures Carmelita Fox, but he has to rescue him. But he gets captured himself, but Carmelita saves him, and he goes and tries to fight Clock, and he defeats Clock. And that's it for the story. Now we go to gameplay. Gameplay is separated in two, or you could say three if you want to. Three types of things: stealth, platforming, and action. The stealth is pretty much what you can do with these blue shine orbs around, like little pathways or little point areas. Those are going to be your stealth kind of areas, because really a lot of stealth areas too are also with, you really don't have to do stealth on here, but it's some places you would prefer, because Sly is not very capable fighter. He can fight later on as you upgrade him a little, gets little upgrades where you have to get bottles to unlock a safe. Because don't try to go like, oh, I've played it, they're gonna be the same code. Even if you do get the same code, you have to get the bottles, because it won't let you. The game won't allow you to, because I've tried. Then there's the platform where the stealth, you're going to have to use the platforms to get through to some stuff. That some stuff don't even have the stealth stuff, so it won't save you. Sly Cooper has a double jump, which will come in handy a lot, and a lot of other moves that you get a lot through the game. And then least but not last, the action. If you do end up getting spotted, you have to do some fighting. You can run away, but Sly only can take at least 2 to 3 hits depending on what horseshoe. Yes, horseshoes. You can find them out on the field, or you can find by getting 100 coins. But here's the thing about it: if you die so many times on the course, they'll offer you a lot more horseshoes, which I could say that's good and bad. Yes, for those players who aren't as good as stealth at stealth, action, and all this, yeah, it benefits them. And those ones who are good at it, gets to at least get through and get done. Which I could see the good and bad of it, which I wish they would really not, because really the game ain't too hard at all. The only trouble I had when I first played the game was at the rhythm game, when you had to fight Voodoo Princess. But that was the only trouble with it, because the rhythm didn't match with the song. But other than that, really anything else, I had no trouble, and I played this when it came out. So really, there's really nothing to worry about difficulty-wise, just that one part. And I'm telling you right now, stock up on life. That's really all I could say about gameplay. My honest opinion. My honest opinion on this game, for the first game, for it being out, there was a couple of stealth games, but not, how could I say, had that cartoon feel to it. It didn't take it to really itself serious. And Bentley and all their friends, really, I would say they were somewhat trying to be friends, but really they didn't I can't say they didn't work a lot with each other. Really, it was more of Sly doing everything, which kind of when they say they're a gang and they're a group, yes, Bentley and Murray did do some stuff, but usually Bentley was in behind and basically told you where to go and what it was. And yeah, that might be information. Yes, information does help a lot sometimes. But it was rarely. It was like one time, and that was it. And then he would scold you for doing something later on that you did, and he didn't tell you anything about really much. That it was more of common sense. And then Murray, Murray got in trouble more than anything. He would get sent to a mission, then get caught or get in trouble, or he got pulled into something, and you had to go save him or help him. There was probably, I think, 1 or 2 times where you were Murray, and it was during racing course. And those racing course, in my honest opinion, at first they were a pain in the butt, and they still are. They weren't difficult. It was just a pain in the butt, because a lot of the time it wasn't on skill really. It was more on, how could I say, luck for me when I was doing it. Because half of the time I would get like first place, and then as I'm getting head, all of a sudden these cars behind me would speed up, get faster and faster, and they would come behind me and bump me and knock me off somewhere, and I'm like, really? And best ones when you're trying to go up the hills and you're trying to hit that ramp and get air on it, and all of a sudden another player comes in. You have the speed and the motion, but all of a sudden they would bump you in the back. You would fall and hit the ground real fast. Some of the stuff was just pretty much when I get second or third, it was more on luck than on my part, which I didn't like that much, which I'm glad they didn't do much later in the game. They did do some racing ones, but they did it a lot better. And this game, I really liked a lot. The stealth part really helped. I did a lot of the stealth part, and I loved doing the bottle collections, because the bottles weren't more like really hard places. As you go further and further on the mission, they're right there, or they're off somewhere where you can go get. It just takes a little longer to get to beat the mission, to get to it, which I have no problem with, as long as I'm able to know it's right there. And they're really, a lot of the bottles are like stuff that you could see if you looked. There might be like in the corner of your like eye, or the corner of of your screen. They're all seen. They're not hidden like deep in somewhere. And then there's sometimes where the bottles you can't get to unless you unlock the move later on, which I didn't mind doing that either. It wasn't that bad, because it was some moves you could get later on in that chapter, not later on like in 3 other missions that you have. But it's something that would come in that chapter, but later on in that chapter, which I didn't have any problems with that either. But I would say the final, the Voodoo Princess, oh my god. Miss Ruby, I hated her. I hated her last mission. Her area is great. It's very, how could I say, different. Like, just each mission felt a little different. There might be like 1 or 2 same ones, but each one felt different at least. But her final kind of take me off. You would get to a certain point, and you would get to a checkpoint, and the rhythm, it's a rhythm game. Your rhythm music is supposed to match up with the button mashes. That didn't all. I wouldn't say best choice to mute the music, because even muting it won't help either, but still, I can't believe I have to say that just to say, hey, mute may not, depending on how you are, help you. It's just a lot of people have troubles with that, and I would think in the HD collection they would fix that a little bit, but no, they didn't. And the HD collection and the original, they did not fix that. But other than that, I think my favorite mission, or my favorite area, would probably be the Ruby stage, and then the mugshots area. Those I like. Those 2 areas I like the most. I can't really decide on both of those, because those 2 were my favorite areas. Um, but other than that, the final mission with Clock Lock, that took a while. You had that was more of, they really didn't give you a, like, this is how you defeat him. It was more trial and error, or, well, yeah, pretty much trial and error, but it wasn't more of like more pain in the butt trial and error. It's like probably took me two or three times to figure out, oh, I gotta shoot that and get across. I can't go on the outside. But that's where I go, like, well, that's more of watch and see what happens more than of some stupidity of luck, like the racing car. The racing car, I didn't really like the racing. I've already talked about this. But anything else on the Clock Lock, I did like the ending. They did leave it out to be a sequel, which will be a later review. They did leave it as a cliffhanger. I did like the scene, and yes, if you've played the game, you know what the ending scene is. And yes, I've said about Carmeline and Sly. That's really all I can say. There really isn't much from the Sly Cooper. It's just building its foundation of the story, which I'm gonna commit to it. I'm glad that they did. I wouldn't say they didn't throw too much at me, but they threw enough for me to like the game and like the story. So this game was more building the foundation of this series, which I'm glad they just started out that, just not chunking everything at us at first. Not much of the Cooper clan is told about, but they will be told later in the video game series. They're not much touched on, because really, how can you say much about the Cooper clan when it is pretty much about crime, organized crime family? But knowing their families, knowing what they did, and each family member has their own little specialty, which that sounds pretty cool, because every move you learn in the game is from their family members. And Bentley tells you each about their, like, little bits and pieces about their families and their moves. Some, not all, but I'm glad about this. Well, that's all I can say for my verdict for this game. I give it a 7 out of 10. This game was great. There are some kind of parts that you overlook, and then the Ruby really kind of, it almost put me down to stop playing the game, because for how many, like, it's a rhythm game and you kind of botched it, and it really, I wouldn't say I'm the greatest person at rhythm games, but I'm good at average, and that's the rhythm game until it gets to the end is kind of crazy. And every time you lose lives, you get it. So for me, this game deserves a 7 out of 10. And this isn't my favorite Sly Cooper game in the series. But that will come later on, which I will mention and probably tell you which one mine is. But I do give Sly Cooper a 7 out of 10. I hope you guys like this review, and I hope you guys want me to do more of these. And yes, I might not be the greatest reviewer in the YouTube, but this is my first review, and I wanted to try this formula and see how this would work. So I hope you guys like this. See you later.